Hi, seventh grade. Welcome back. Today we're going to be focusing primarily on the instructions or the expectations for your narrative that you're going to be writing for social studies. It'll be similar to what you guys have been doing in ELA, and also similar to what you did on the interim. Today I'm going to go over pretty much what's the narrative going to be, and then on Tuesday, we're going to be looking at some examples of narratives from the interim. On Wednesday, you'll be working on practicing writing narratives. And Thursday and Friday, you'll be working on your actual narrative. Before we get started, so this is the video that is due Sunday. That was due Sunday. 28 students are done, and you see, I believe this is UCSC. No, that's UCLA, sorry. UC Davis, we're at 23. And UCSC, we're at 26. So this needs to be done. And this also has a document in Google Classroom that needs to be done. Now, some of you might be wondering, if you miss a question, how can you go back in the video because it doesn't let you skip? So you can go to YouTube. If you go to YouTube and you search inside Mecca, National Geographic documentary, you're able to find a documentary here. So, but you still need to do the other one that I posted in Edpuzzle. So, but you are able to, in this one, you're able to go back and forth. Okay. Before we get started, let me go over the notes. So today you'll be working on this on the video, and you'll also be working on a small, a short worksheet that where you're writing sentences. Okay, so let's get started with this narrative. So it'll be a narrative. It'll be due on Friday before you leave for the break, and I'll be grading it over the break. Okay, the narrative can be first person or third person, similar to what you did. This will be very similar to what you did in the intro. Okay. Um, you must use your sentences when you write your narrative, um, because it will give more life to your narrative. It'll make it more engaging to the reader. So smell, touch, see, hear, and taste. You have to use all of them? Obviously not, but you should use as many as you can. Okay. Um, Obviously, you need to have dialogue in your narrative. Your narrative must be people interacting with one another, talking to one another. And when you use dialogue, you are using quotation marks because people are talking. Okay. Although it is a fictional narrative, it is made up by you. It must be factual in regards to the Hajj. This is a history class after all, but I'm combining it with ELA to make it so hopefully this sticks better for you. You can remember the Hajj better. Um, but you can't say that you went to Mecca and then you got wings on your back and then you flew around the Kaaba. Like you can't say that. It still needs to be accurate in terms of the Hajj. Create conflict and resolve conflict. This is really up to you how you do this. I'm sure there's a way for you to create conflict in Hajj because it is a difficult time period for a lot of people. Okay, and then resolve conflict. We're going to be talking more about that this week. You will also be graded on punctuation and grammar. Now, I'm not going to grade every single thing in terms of punctuation and grammar, but I will be looking at capitalization, capitalizing proper nouns, and also how you spell. Okay. Now, if you misspell one word here and there, it'll be fine. But if it's very easy to notice when someone just doesn't capitalize, like eyes. Those are very pretty easy to see. Documentary and the News Daily article are your sources. Documentary that you saw this weekend will be your main source. That does not mean that you simply copy one of those stories, Khalil, Fidelma, or Ismail, because I'm going to read this and it'll be very obvious. This is primarily what I'm going to be looking at. There's a rubric, but this is what I'm going to be looking at. Okay, start using it effectively. This is kind of like a hook, right? How do you engage the reader? Use details to describe the character. So describe who the character is, right? Um, And you can use the sources to support that. Use details to describe the setting. This is a really, really big one for me because the setting is really important, right? This is a story about Hajj. Use quotation marks when the characters speak or spoke. We just talked about that. Keep narration clear. Right? There's steps that you must take. If the reader gets lost in your narration, that can be an issue, right? So go back and make sure that it flows clearly. And then paragraphs, create conflict, resolve conflict. Again, the conflict is up to you to determine, right? That'll be fictional in essence, but it needs to be rooted in what happens in Hajj. Okay. Use figurative language to create a sense of vertical time. So this will probably be for the M plus. Because I'm not gonna really talk about it in social studies, and I don't know if Miss Crawford has talked about it. But this is where you use language, where you use figurative language. So, for example, this coffee shop is an ice box, right? It's cold. I'm gonna make this bigger. A metaphor: she's drowning in a sea of grief. Similarly, she's happy as a clam. You're comparing. Um, Another simile: I move fast like a cheetah on the Serengeti. The sea lashed out in anger at the ships, unwilling to tolerate another battle. Personification. When you give things a human entity. Another personification. The sky misses the sun at night. Hyperbole. I've told you a million times to clean your room, right? A million times. Another hyperbole. You heard her head was spinning from all the new information. Her head wasn't actually spinning. Symbolism. She was living her life in chains. And the symbolism, when she saw the dove soar high above her home, she knew the worst was over. So again, this is going to be optional, okay? I'll be giving you guys this graphic organizer on probably on Wednesday. This is where you can brainstorm your ideas. So for example, the important event is going to be Hajj. Where and when did it happen? So you'll tell me like a date, right? So in order for this, you need to find out when does Hajj happen, right? If Hajj happens on a certain month and you say it happened in March and it doesn't happen in March, that's going to be an issue, right? Okay, this is happening. This is where you're going to focus on uh, those um, those religious um, uh, those religious activities you have to do in Hajj. Okay, what happened? How did it change your life? This is if it's first person. So again, these are just like sentence starters, and I'll give you guys this to help you organize your ideas. And that's it for that for this. I'm gonna be going over this again with you guys to go over what is it that what the expectation is. Not that one, not that one. So this is gonna be the rubric. Okay, this is the rubric we use your your narrative. This would be an M. I can write this M. 3 is an S plus, 2 is an S, 1 is an S minus, and N is if we don't understand what's going on. Okay, so you'll be graded on development of your narrative and also conventions. And I will also have a historical standard in there because it is about Hajj. Okay, there's something else I wanted to show you guys. So today you're watching this video. Like, why can I do this? And you're also going to be practicing transition words. Okay. So for example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think 11. So for example, eventually. How would you use eventually in a sentence, right? I studied for hours and hours the night before the exam. However, eventually I became so tired I fell asleep at my desk. So these are words that you will most likely be using in um, in your narrative. We're gonna be practicing this, and we'll also be practicing quoting, or not quoting, but using dialogue, using quotes to support to write dialogue. Okay, so again, today you're watching this. Tuesday, we're looking at examples, student examples of the narrative, the interim narrative. Wednesday, you practice writing narratives with a certain question. And then Thursday and Friday, you'll actually be writing your narratives, and they will be graded. They will go into PowerSchool. They will most likely appear on your PowerSchool report card. Also, if you are retaking the Islam units, the first test, I will be inviting you to a Zoom class because I feel like if I just tell you to do it, some of us won't do it, and I get that. So I will actually be inviting you to a Zoom session, and I will let you know when that's happening. It'll happen this week. Okay. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.